Happy Christmas, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for a weapon tier list. The Epic's game development team is going to be away for another week, so I want to lay down in stone what the best weapons are, what the worst weapons are. There's a couple of things that will change this tier list around over the course of this season, but I don't want to spoil it. Let's just go ahead and talk about what we already got in the game. First, give me a chance to bring some order to all this chaos right here.
Life sucks, and then you die.
Now that we have this organized, let's go ahead and give these weapons a ranking. First, we have the grenade launcher. Right now, it's the snowball launcher. I'm gonna have to start this with the high tier. I think the RPG is a little bit better because these grenades don't have a bounce to them. It's a little bit harder to sneak them behind cover. Kind of falls off a little bit in build mode. RPG isn't always, though. Right now in the current update, this is only available to purchase from an NPC in faulty splits, but it's worth the gold in my opinion. Next, we have the Excalibur rifle. This is also high tier. I think it really depends on your style, but I like it a lot. It's a good use of shotgun ammo, considering you normally end up with a lot of shotgun ammo, more than you know what to do with. I'm gonna let you know right now, some of these weapons fall off when it comes to whether or not you have perks for them. That's why I have the conditional tier. This mostly has to do with what mode you're playing, or if the weapons need perks to excel. Next, we have regular DMR. And I'm going to say that this is very conditional. This is going to fall off a lot in build mode. However, it does utilize the Bloodhound perk, so it is good for that. It's a matter of playstyle, and the Excalibur does the same thing. It has the same synergy with the Bloodhound perk. Next, we have Explosive Bow. I'm going to put this in the conditional as well. It can be effective sometimes. Again, less good in build mode, more good in zero build mode. Important to note, because I'm not going to mention it, every bow and arrow works with the Bloodhound perk, so we're really just talking about the DMR class in general here. Now, Shockwave Bow is a bit interesting. I would put it at the very high tier of conditional, because if you have the perk that lets you reload your bow faster, this becomes a very, very good movement tool. It'll actually pace the hammer. I think it'll actually outpace the hammer. You're going to end up with a lot of ammo. If you have to get away from someone, you have as many charges as you have arrows. So it can really help you out. You just have to feed it perks to make it work. Next, we got the grapple bow. I'm going to have to put this in the trolling category. I think it's the most unoptimal way to use these arrows. It's going to leave you very vulnerable, and it'll probably do the same job that an impulse grenade would do as well. I've also found that the range of the arrow leaves a lot to be desired with the grapple mechanic. You just don't get as far as you'd really want to get with this item. Though I think it's not a desperate thing, I think it's a trolling thing because it does combine well with some perks. It can make for some very hilarious clips. Fire bow, I would also put in trolling. Fire in general is trolling. It's a suboptimal way to play the game, but it does help to deal with bushes. If people are in build mode and they're using wood, it's good to deal with them. You at least have the Bloodhound perk going for you. You can hit headshots from a distance. I would say if you're accurate, it's not a bad pick for build mode. But the next one is much better, and that is the Stink Bow, which I'm going to actually put in the high tier, period. I think Stink Bow is high tier. It's probably the best bow option you can get. The stink effect will work regardless of what material they're using, whether they're on a road or on grass. It's going to also give you the Bloodhound effect. It's a good use of the arrows, which you're not going to be using anyway. It excels in squad mode. Stink Bow, definitely underrated. There's a reason that when it was first introduced to the game, it dominated competitive. Next, we have the Cobra AR, top of high tier, with only the Excalibur in front of it. If you can hit the Excalibur shots, you're going to get more bang for your buck. But the Cobra is going to let you operate at a higher distance. It's got very consistent damage, and you can buff it with assault rifle perks, such as the one that increases the damage of the first shot out of it. I would put the tactical AR down at the bottom of high tier. I think what really saves it is that it has a scope. It's very, very, very important to either have a DMR/bow or to have a scoped weapon. You need to have something that allows you to open up battles with a large amount of damage very quickly. Pretty much the basic principle is that you open them up with high damage, close the gap as quick as you can, finish with your high-powered close quarters weapons. If you follow that basic plan, you win most of your fights, and because of that, it stays in the high tier. But the Scar falls down to conditional tier. I actually put it above the DMR. I think DMR is kind of booky. The Scar, it's pretty bloomy. It's not the most optimal way to use your assault rifle rounds. You can do a lot better than the Scar in both the assault rifle category and the spray category. It's just this weird middleman. It's a do-all jack-of-all-trades, but it doesn't have a specialty. However, the Twin Mag definitely rises to the top of conditional. It has a very high fire rate. It does benefit from the light hand perk that lets you reload faster, though it already has the mag, so it reloads pretty damn fast. What makes it really good is in 0 builds, it's a wall shredder. It can really get into those walls, poke some damage. It's good for retaking if you're at high ping. Honestly, if you're in build mode, it is the best spray option. Now, as much as it pains me with the tactical SMG, I feel like it is very hard to make this work. It doesn't really do any job particularly well. It doesn't shred walls. It has a pretty large magazine, but it has pretty high fall-off damage. So unless you're backing this up with a DMR or a bow and arrow, it's kind of hard to justify it. And the Twin Mag does have a higher fire rate than it. I think this is a weapon you really only use if you like it, and you would probably get better results using other weapons. However, the pistol, my god, this machine pistol is crazy if you can get the perks, and you're using it in 0 build mode. This thing doesn't have the fire rate to shred through builds, so I would not commit anything to it in build mode. But if you're in 0 build mode, this is the best non-scoped AR in the game. Very, very high tier. You just have to feed it perks. You have to get the pistol amp to get it the extra ammo, and you have to get light fingers to get it this fast to reload. But when you do, you'll be shredding people. You won't even believe the things you'll be doing with this weapon. And I'm also going to rearrange a bit. I'm going to put above the DMR. I just want the DMR to be at the very, very bottom of conditional. Another weapon for the trolling category, the combat shotgun. You have to get a perk to even get this weapon, and it really falls behind all the other shotguns. I think if you're an auto shotgun user and you don't like the Maven, honestly, no one should really be using the Maven. I'm going to put it at the very top of trolling, because it does have some merit, but it's really a suboptimal way to do things. Now, here's where it gets crazy. The Thunder shotgun can do 195 headshot damage at blue and above. Even at green, it'll do insane amount of damage, and that's because it fires 2 shotgun shells at once. That's important to note. It has 8 in the chamber, but you only have 4 shots. However, nothing really stands next to it. The Maven, you'll have to reload before you do the amount of damage this weapon does. This is always pickup. I actually have a route, check the link above, to get both the RPG and the Thunder Pump in purple. So if you want easy wins this season, go check out that video after you finish this one. Now that I've arrived at the Maven, I think I have to change things around. The Maven is going to be at the very bottom of trolling. You really should not pick up the Maven. I will put the combat shotgun right below the Twin Mag SMG, just so you have an auto shotty. If you cannot get combat shotty, just roll Thunder. It's got better distance, it's got better damage. You're going to have a spray weapon anyway, so why are you wasting time with the Maven? Taking 3 shots to do what you could do in 1 with the Thunder. Now this next weapon, surprisingly, I'm going to put in the high tier. And this is the first exotic on the list, the Dub. What I really like about it is that it has decent perk synergy. It can hit for very hard up close, and it's pretty easy to close the distance in this season. But if you have something like Soaring Sprint, or you have something like the Balloon perk, it gives you a way to propel yourself very easily. It also runs on the shotgun ammo, so you're always going to have an excess of shotgun ammo. It's pretty conditional on perks, but I found I can make it work without any dedicated perks very well. Normally, I would have the Shadow Tracker pistol in the high tier, but I think without the perks, it falls behind, so I'm going to just put it at the very top of conditional, right above the normal rapid fire pistol. If you're in the area or you have keys to get this gun, take the upgrade. It's freaking insane. And it actually technically has a faster fire rate than the auto pistol, because it will fire as fast as you click the trigger. The last exotic is definitely a troll weapon. It is the Unstable Bow. The whole gimmick is that it switches bow types after every shot. It's really just for doing challenges. Very bottom of troll weapon. You can't even rely on this thing to be what you need it to be in the situations you need it to be that. Now, the next one is our first to make the desperate list, and that's the impulse grenades. There's so many other ways to get around, and this is just an absolute troll way, and it hurts you if you use it wrong. You take fall damage off of these, so you're really only going to use them if you can't get anything else. As opposed to the shockwave hammer, which is an always pick up. This thing defines the season. If everything else is equal, you need the shockwave hammer. Anything else in your inventory is arguable. You can argue the point for any other weapon, but you always need shockwave hammer. The only exception is if you fully kit your shockwave bow. That requires 2 perks, by the way. One to get the shockwave bow, the other to get the faster reload. So you see how the hammer is just mostly superior. It also helps to clear people away from you. If they try to close quarters combat with you, it's a great pickup right off drop. Since no one has shield, it does 75 damage, throws them away from you. It's fantastic in most situations, and if used right, it will definitely win you the game. Balloons is a movement item, definitely a troll pick. It's very easy to get beamed out of the sky when using this. It also really depends on your loadout. You can only use certain loadouts effectively when you have this, and if you get caught in the air, you're just defenseless. There's not much you can do except outshoot someone. But I'm actually going to put it at the very top of troll tier, because balloon plus grapple arrow can lead to some very, very interesting clips. I would recommend you try it out if you get in that situation. Then we have the jump pads. I'm gonna have to put these at the bottom of conditional. You only really want to buy these if you end up in the frozen zone. But even then you'll have your hammers. It's just that the hammers have charges, and I found in the frozen zone, there's a lot of canyons, a lot of sheer cliffs that you can't get up with the hammer. It does help to have a couple jump pads in your squad. I would also say that too. I'm never using these when I'm alone. It's only in squads that I've bought jump pads. The next 2 I'm also going to put in desperate, and this is not only because they're only good in certain situations, it's that they both have bow equivalents. In my opinion, if you really want these 2 effects, you should just be picking up the bow, and you'll be able to project force over a longer distance. And the very last item is the porta bunker, and this is fantastic. In 0 build mode, definitely a pickup for the end game, especially in squads. This will win you games. I don't really think it's in build mode. It may be in build mode. If it is, it's a lot less useful. Maybe you can use it to break someone's build, but otherwise it would be completely useless in build mode. I'm gonna have to put it at the very bottom of high tier, because I want to emphasize that in 0 build mode, this is essentially an always pickup for endgame. It's just that it has no application in the other part of Fortnite. And just like that, we've completed our Winterfest tier list. In terms of loadouts, I think it's very important to have the hammer and the thunder pump every single game. This is pretty much a single heal season, because you're going to use one of your heal spots on the hammer. You're going to have some sort of DMR or scope. You're going to have the Excalibur, the Cobra, or the tactical AR. Those can be replaced with a bow depending on your style. You're going to be running the Thunder Pump and then some sort of spray weapon. Ideally, the Twin Mag SMG or a beefed up pistol. Depending on the mode, I'm either running Excalibur or Cobra, Thunder Pump, pistol or Twin Mag SMG, and the hammer every time. If I manage to control the RPG drop, then I'll probably not take the Excalibur or take a bow. I'll take more of the spray rifle, maybe even drop the scope entirely, just roll pistol, shotgun, RPG. That might be the way to do it, just get in people's faces. Or if I manage to get the perk for the tactical AR, that's what I'll roll. I'll roll tactical AR, thunder pump, RPG, always hammer. And then ideally you'll get the perk, you'll have Chug Splash. That's really nothing to worry about. It's either Chug Splash, Med Mist, Shield Fish. Those are the trifecta of heals. And right there, you know what loadouts you have to win. Pair this with my other video right over here. Bam, bam, bam. And you will have the perfect technique to get easy wins in Fortnite Chapter 4. If this video helped you out, if that other one helps you out, be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.